Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It's very clear that we are in the middle of a culture war, and unfortunately we have at least two main sides. One side that is maneuvered and controlled, and the other side who I don't think it is. There are some groups that want to take charge of this group, but it's kind of like the whole idea on this side is opposite to the other one and is based on freedom. Freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom to do this, freedom to do that. It's very clear that one side is pro-freedom, the other one is against freedom. This side here has the mentality of a tyrant, and this one here, even if they don't understand it, at least they want to be left alone. They don't want to impose anything on these guys. Just, I want to be left alone. Whereas these guys want these guys to do what they tell them. That's a tyrant mentality. It's very strange how Twitter all of a sudden, at least for me, became so interesting. And interesting because the wrong person, quote unquote, took over Twitter. Before this guy spoke about, I don't know, buying Twitter, I didn't know who the guy in charge was. I knew it was an Indian. I think he's Indian. Pakistani, I don't know. I don't want to insult anybody, but I think it was one of the two. I know it's a big difference, but for me, I couldn't tell if he was an Indian or a Pakistani. I think it was an Indian guy from India. Nothing wrong with that, but other than that, I didn't know his name. I knew that Twitter was what it was doing, hanky-panky and all that, but it was just there. I knew it was a leftist thing. It cut this part, just left these guys talk. These guys were just pushed down and all that. All right, well, that's the way it is almost everywhere here. But the main ideology, main difference between this group and this group is this group, if you want to talk about something, they don't want you to be able to talk. I mean, our society, our ancient Greek society, civilization, Roman civilization, that's where we come from, is based on argumentation. So to know who's wrong and who's wrong or right, you use arguments. That's the ideal. And the key word is ideal. This country here was formed on the same principle. Debate. Marketplace of ideas. Let's figure things out by talking about them, not by trying to ban someone, prevent someone from talking, and therefore I'm right. No, you're right if you're right. How are you right? Debating. Bring your ideas, bring your arguments, bring your evidence. That's how it used to be. You didn't solve it with a machete or a handgun or a bomb. Yes, there were some instances, but still the principle was we debate. Well, this side here wants to, quote unquote, cancel the other side, wants the other side to be either non-existent as an expression or be followers like they are. And that's not right. That's not good. This is the main difference. I'm generalizing, obviously, because we're not all the same. But if I was to make two sides, this is the main difference. Main difference. Now, in this situation, think about these guys having control of the society. What would it look like? Somehow, it's about tolerance and love. The problem is tolerance and love only for what they believe in. That's all. You guys say, well, the same thing is over here. Well, I let them be. But these guys are always trying to impose on those guys or on everybody else. And if you do not follow, they will call you. That's this and this and this and that. As I said, always debate. And the tolerance, it goes both ways. So if I expect you to be tolerant with a value that I have or a preference, and you say, well, I'm sorry, but your value, your preference runs against my value, I immediately call you, a name, or you're intolerant. But the other side can call me the same way because I'm trying to impose the same kind of my values on you, and if you do not accept, I call you tolerant. But if you look the other way around, well, you want to impose something on me, you're not tolerant at all. So this is I'm not saying that everything goes. I'm not talking about anarchy. There should be some rules, and we've been on this planet for some time. We know that there are certain things that if you drop them, they're going to go down. There are certain things that you cannot really change, and if you change, that's been tried before. We are in a culture war, and look at this guy called Elon Musk. That I had no pro, no con against this guy. Nothing. It was zero for him. Didn't care for him. Now he bought Twitter. Look how these guys attack Elon Musk right now. Like children, with childish arguments, with childish charges. It's unbelievable. It's like you argue with children. The problem is these children, they have positions. They have titles, they have power, they have connections, and they think like children. And I don't want to use always, but their general idea is you should not be allowed to talk unless you talk the way I like you to talk. Well, I don't want that kind of thing. Even here. What is this? And why? Why? Is because they have a certain kind of ideology? Yes, they do. And I think that ideology is a very childish, utopic ideology. Very utopic and very flimsy, because it's not really backed by nature. That's one thing. They try to create something so artificial that cannot be sustained. For instance, if you do not work, you cannot survive. If you do not work. Why? If you take me and you leave me somewhere in nature, together with nature, and I'll be starving. So I have to start doing something. So I have to work. Now if I have a partner, a woman, and I don't work, she doesn't work, and we have a kid, let's say we survive somehow 9-10 months, okay? You have a kid. And I don't work, he doesn't work. Who's gonna feed us? Whose duty is to feed us and the baby? And then we make another one somehow, let's say. Somehow we have 2 children. Now what's gonna happen? Or let's put it this way. Let's say all of a sudden we're two adults, 2 children, and we make more children and more children. But I don't work, you don't work. Whose duty? Who's supposed to take care of us and the children? And if it's someone else's duty, why? Why? Nobody prevents you to go and get a job. Nobody prevents you to save money. Nobody prevents you to stop consuming whatever you consume. Nobody. You can save money. You can find jobs. There's a lot of jobs over there. Any kind of job. Nobody prevents you from going to college here. So easy. So easy. The school here is very easy here. And very pleasant. So then, why can't you make it? Why can't you make it? Is it because of self-discipline or lack of? Is it a behavioral problem here? I mean, the rules are very clear if you want to survive. You have to work. That means plant, get eggs from the trees, from the nests, go and hunt, go and fish. We have to put effort. You have to fish more than you need or hunt more than you need so you can store that somehow. How can you store it? It's gonna get rotten. So you have to think, it makes you think, and then you build something because you're gonna stay in the rain and snow. You have to build something. You have to do this. Nobody else owes you anything. Nobody owes you anything. So these are general principles that this side nowadays does not think that these are really existent and valuable. They promote staying home, having children, and someone else working for you because you don't like the jobs available, or someone oppresses me somehow and I'm the victim, therefore I'm going to stay here and someone owes me something. And they are for taking from those and giving to these entitled people. Well, now you have Musk. He's doing something that I don't know how long he's gonna resist. They say, well, some people leave Twitter and so on. They will leave. Some others will join. But it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You deal with children, brains, in adult bodies. The problem is that those adults have positions in a society, strong people. How did they get there? How could they manage to survive and to do well? I tell you how. This society is a very artificial society, because those people maybe, just maybe, should not be able to get in those positions with that kind of mentality. Example, Kamala Harris. She's the Vice President of the United States of America. I don't think she knows much. Take Joe Biden. He's a semi-conscious individual. He's the President of the United States of America. Listen to Kirby. Listen to Blinken. Listen to Sullivan. Listen to Milley. Listen to Austin. These are mediocre people. They are mediocre people. The fact that they were promoted and they reached those tops, that's very concerning. That's very concerning. Where are the good people? Where are the quality people? Where are the valuable people? Where are they? I know they are somewhere. I know, you know where they are? They are in private businesses, the ones who build businesses. I think that's where they are. And why do I think so? Because they have to calculate, they have to think, they have to plan, they have to be logical, they have to plan ahead. That's how you build a business. Not like these guys, all of them that I mentioned. What did they build? What did they build? Anyway, I'm not saying that if you work for government, you somehow are a bad person or something. No, I'm not saying that at all. But it's more likely that, people who, in these cases I just mentioned, they are not really the best that we have. Look at them. Look at them. Which one? Which one? Just give me. They're academics. Okay, they went to school. All right, that means they memorized and they make something. It doesn't mean they're good people. No. Doesn't mean they have necessary logic and decision making. No. Biden, he's a politician. He had to look good and promise some people that they will give them back to those people what will take from the other people. That's a politician. You sponsor me or you do campaign donations. When I get elected, I'm going to take care of you. Basically, this is what it is. You don't have to be too logical, be sneaky and like a money changer. That's all you have to do, like a bazaar. Kamala Harris, we know. Kneel down, face back and forth. We know that one. So out with her. Milley, he was a military man. Yes, sir. No, sir. Move left. Okay. Now he have to think. Yeah, he have to think. How did he get there? How did he get? The same with the other one, with Austin. I heard them talk. They don't talk too much, that's true. But just for me, Milley was enough in that hearing when he talked about the white man's rage or something like this. That was, what? Okay, all right, bye-bye. And how he argued about it in front of the Senate commission or whatever. I was like, Jesus Christ, what's going on? Then I had the other one, Austin. He's a general. He's a warrior. A warrior is a courageous guy. He wore all those masks and all those things like he was the spaceman when the COVID was over there. He was afraid to die. And you're a military, you're the chief of staff or whatever you are over there. You're a coward. You're afraid of death? How? And then when you started your military career and you went over there with your platoon, I don't think you were courageous then and now you're a coward. I don't think so. I think you were a coward then and you're a coward now. Too much protection, too much for life. Remember Fidel Castro? He had some interviews and someone asked him, hey Fidel, how many assassinations attempts did you survive and what protection did you have? And he opened his shirt and he showed his chest. He said, that is my protection. I don't have anything. I don't wear any protection, nothing. Well, that's courage. Craziness, however. And this guy was masked and all that. He still got COVID. And he didn't die, of course. Well, good for him. He's still alive. So, Tyrants versus people who just want to be left alone. And these guys want to tell them what to do. What do you think will happen? At one point, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.